Yapping session with Youmu. Hello again, viewers. It is I, Slooky Pickles, back with another yapping session. I'm in my gaming room because if I'm outside, Yuyuko-sama might scold me again. For today's Yappery Yapperson, we are going to talk about something a bit more personal in my life, which kind of includes all the projects I've made as well. Those projects aren't really related to the school itself, but rather it is the projects I've made during the school year. And before we jump straight to the session, I just want to clarify that in my latest post, I've switched to another editing software, which is UCut. It used to be CapCut. Due to the app being addicted to pro blocking, the best features, really the best features, and I might have a hard time doing edits the same as I did before. Even though I made a Tekken edit for the damn joke, school fight, for the laps. Another one last clarification. I will be using a script this time around just to be consistent with talking. I know some of y'all are a bit annoyed or dissatisfied with conversation that always has ahs or ums and F-drop bombs. F-bomb drops, I mean. And besides, I've made this script so it's still considered as yapping, right? I want y'all to be hearing my unsuitingly soothing voice. Without further ado, let's go jump straight to the side of my story. If I could share my story with my virtual friends, then I could share it too for my viewers. But I won't be too specific as I still prefer being anonymous about my identity. Okay, here we go. My very first day of my school life. This current school year, of course, I cannot talk about my previous school year. We're just gonna talk about this current one. It all started on the last day of July in the year 2024. The first Mondays to Wednesdays aren't really that bad until Thursdays and Fridays hit that day. By now, almost all of you probably know my nationality. I'm not gonna tell you that. You should have already known that. If you do, then you might be familiar with a strand all about computer hardware and a bit of software, but mostly it talks about computer hardware, which is why I know more about computer motherboard than doing JavaScripts, which is crazy. That's a strand I chose because, just like what I've said from the very first day of my school, I wanted to learn more about computers. But instead of learning computers, I just get a little torture called writing notes. And some of you might ask, how is writing notes a torturing device? Well, it would be a torture if the notes are like 100 plus slides long and you have to be good at handwriting. Otherwise, your grades will be a dog water, just like the rest of my lazy edited content. I just really post gaming stuff nowadays. I don't even edit that much anymore. I actually almost quit this strand multiple times, all because of her stupid personality that irked me off. Sorry if I offended that one teacher, but I just can't stand old woman anymore. I feel like I've learned more from myself than my teacher. Okay, now this time I'm not sorry. The only good side about her teachings is that it quite pushes me to do things, but it's forced in a way. And you know what? On the bright side, at least now I know what I'd feel when I get a job 24/7 and have a terrible boss that gives off the same vibes as she does. Other than that, the other teachers aren't that problematic, except her and the math teacher that teaches statistics. She's also a problem because she's also a granny, and her personality as well. One of the most inspirational teachers, in my humble opinion, is my personal development teacher. She's just so inspiring. Most of her teachings are motivational, and I am very active during her recitation. Mostly, the things she taught is mostly real talk, and she also shares her side of story, which kind of inspired me when making this types of content, and why I pursued being more truthful to others. Because I used to be just anonymous of my identity towards others. I don't really share my side of story until, I've met certain people, and that kind of changed me. I used to be lone wolf. I used to be doing solo leveling. I can't do that actually. I suck at even grinding on my own. But anyways, let us continue our discussion. During this time in my very school year, I've also been making little projects of mine, one of which is my writing. Oh, you didn't know I was a writer? Well, now you do. I was actually writing a rom-com genre high school teen novel named Notorious Ikumi-chan. I actually just want to reveal this after my school year, but I've decided to share it with you all this time around. It's high school theme because I thought it would be easier to write, something I relate to, except for the romance part. I'm maidenless. It's on Wattpad. Yes, the very site full of fanfiction and self-inserts. Yeah, fanfictions are more popular category in that site. Even if you make original stories there, it won't get popular in that site. But fame isn't really my goal there. I just really want to write for fun, and it's not turning fun anymore for me, which is why I kind of stopped because of school pressures and such. I prefer to make more diverse or varieties of original characters more than to make myself look powerful or charismatic in fiction, because I'm not really into self-inserting myself in my stories. Trust me, I don't put myself into my stories. Back to what I was saying, writings are one of my passions because I like writing lores and stuffs and OCs. I think most of my virtual friends on Discord knows that I draw a lot of OCs. If you want me to talk about them more, then that's for another video or another episode for Yapping session series. Another thing included is I've tried to not have friends in school, all because I don't want anyone persuading me or annoying me about what to do with the homework in the middle of the night. I prefer to get some proper sleep away from stress, which is why I is stressed about hearing my damn surname every night like they are asking for my help, like I'm the damn handyman. Well, I don't always have the time for everything, that. Unfortunately, I am too social and made several friends. I tried not to be, but I failed miserably. Some of them are quite problematic, at least to me. But look at the bright side. At least I could ask help for someone if I can't do that certain activity like printing all the stuff. Yes, like every other school year, I still have tons of stuff to print. It never ends there, and I might still have to do that in college. I have a feeling I might do that. Well, another negativity is this school year for me is the worst, and I only got used to it. Back then, I thought to myself that this is like the worst classmate roster because of the way they act. I don't want to feel like the Miko Ino of the school, but they feel ill-disciplined. In my point of view, they are so ill-disciplined, and that caused our main strand teacher not to teach us for multiple days. Yes, that happened, and all we did was just play some random games on the phone because she thought we don't care. All of us don't care. That's what I really hate. That's another thing I hate. Generalizing. Like if one person did something bad, it affects all of us like it's our faults too. Another bad thing is the incident from that one classmate of ours. Like he straight up trash talked our teacher. Not the main strand one, but the other. And beef with her son. Yes. He also started an argument with my teacher's son. Like a lot of bad things really happen during this school. I'll be brutally honest, there's also vaping that is going around in the school. Especially during the first semester of this year. Good thing second semester hasn't that been fully bad for me. Until one day, after some days later, I lost my flash drive and my LAN tester, which is used for crimping to activity or making UTP cables, and that caused me to crash out. I can't control myself. The bad thing about this is my crash out is actually reasonable because there are people who borrow stuff even without asking permission. I had to shout, "Where is my crimping cable?" And then that's where they start asking permission. So there are still reasons why I wish homeschooling gets implemented in this country. It's not because I don't like socializing with others. It's more because I hate socializing with others. Like honestly, I would have dealt with less people who have brickish personality if I'm only dealing with myself and my homeschool teacher instead of having a bunch of clowns to be your classmates. Another reason why I used to think the student roster is awful is because one time I was eating my food during recess, someone ate my damn chicken. And when I ranted about it, they think it's a joke and they freaking laugh. Like, bro, do you think being hungry and your food being stolen from you is a comedy? All of you get a damn life. Well, that's about it for the bad side of my school life, as I want to focus more on what makes it positive. I don't want all of you who are also aspiring in the same strand as I do. I don't want you to be let down because of my personal problems. I'm sure all of you will get a better school year than I did. It just depends on the school location or the people around you. Personally, I prefer if you go to a better location for better education, but sometimes you really have no choice because of financial instability. One of the positive factors are me getting a better group mates in the research subject this school year. Like, even with the lack of time, we were able to do it by helping together through a Discord call, which is surprising, not gonna lie, which is one of the biggest moments of my life because we literally just crammed that stuff and we did it. We freaking did it, and we got a decent score during the defense. We really just revised small things. We didn't revise the whole research thing. It's just a small portion of it, just changing slightly the title and some other questions. We were also so lucky that our panelists during the defense were the teachers we know during the first semester. Crazy how our research is first semester instead of second, right? Well, due to how many sections there are, they've decided to switch up research in first semester for our section. And lately, I've been more and more open to other friend circles, as I used to just act like a lone wolf and do most things on my own. I still do, just not as much as before. I also now joke around more often with others, unlike before. Well, other positive factor is that I'm kinda getting consistent with getting decent grades. Except for the fact that I screwed up the science examination during the second semester. Anyone would be surprised that I got the highest on preliminary and then just screwed up on quarterly test, which is kind of crazy. I've also somehow gotten the highest grades in mathematics, which is really, really crazy for me because first and foremost, I'm the type of guy who's sometimes reckless and lacks cautiousness. So even if I knew some of the problems, I don't care enough to check if my answer is correct or not. But sometimes I do get cautious when I screw up really badly. I don't really think of myself as a genius when it comes to mathematics. At least, not anymore. And yet somehow, a lot of my classmates ask me questions in something math related. I'm either not being humble or this is just how I see myself. I'm not flexing, I'm just sharing the side of my story. I still have a month left and all I could say to myself is good luck and be strategic than ever. Thank you all for watching me talking random nonsense, and I hope you see me yap in another session. Thank you very much for watching.